Hey, this is Hadassah Monique, aka the Stoned Priestess. I just wanted to do a brief video on reverse colorism. If you had to know, both of my parents I would consider both my parents mixed race. One is more black and one is more white. I come out gray. So my life experience is a little bit different than a lot of people who are darker than me. I still consider myself mixed race, and I'm okay with that. I'm proud of that, and you can get over it if that makes you mad. So I just wanted to share a story with you guys of something that had happened to me. I had gone into a beauty supply store, and I was looking at stuff for my hair. And I was being followed around the store by a darker chick, and she kept like eyeing me, and she just had this sort of like weird vibe. Like, I've never been followed or harassed by any white person in a store. I've never felt like I was, an issue. But in this case, I felt like I was an issue, and it was very uncomfortable. What I don't understand is that there are darker people out there who say that reverse colorism is not real. But it is. It happens. It happens to me a lot. And in this one case, it was very, very frustrating because I don't like people. Like, I don't like feeling uncomfortable. And most of the time, I would just like speak up and say, well, is there something that I can do for you? Why are you following me? Why are you bothering me? But it's kind of like, well, if you do that, then it kind of puts a target on your back, especially if you're in a store and, it just makes you look guilty. So I just like tried to ignore the fact that she was following me, and she was like eyeing me. Now, I've had to do my hair by myself and how to learn how to manage it and everything, it being curly and long and short sometimes and all that stuff. I do what I do because I feel comfortable and I look good. So I wanted to dye my hair a different shade of purple, and when it comes to dyeing hair, I'm not that knowledgeable of it, so I just don't do box dyes. I do semi-permanent dyes because it's just easier for me to manage, and I don't have to worry about like touching up the roots or anything like that. So I was considering doing a permanent dye, and I don't know anything about bleaching or anything at all and stuff. So I'm trying to like look at the stuff, and she's like asking me if I needed any help. Well, I actually did need help. I didn't want her help, but she just had this like nasty ass attitude, like for no reason at all. And so I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want this shit. So I bought it anyway. I bought it and I screwed up. Long story short, I lost a lot of hair because of the bleaching. But it was years ago, so it's not like it's affecting me now physically. And there was another time I had walked into that store, and I was seriously like looking at wigs because, I just like my hair was thin, but it was long, but it was thin because I was going through so much. And what happens is that I just lose a lot of hair when I am stressed out or really heavily depressed, and I don't eat. So I was like really skinny and my hair was thin. So I was looking at wigs, and she's just like looking at me as if like, you don't need a wig, like why the fuck are you even here? She had that whole like vibe, and it was very uncomfortable because I'm just like, look, I just want to try and see if I can do this, if I can pull it off, which I'm pretty sure I can pull off a good wig because I guess the light skin privilege that I have is that any kind of hairdo will look good on me and it will look natural, which is cool. It's whatever. I don't care about that. That's not what I'm thinking about, but that is what a lot of darker skinned women think about. And I understand why, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not thinking about it. I don't care. I just want to see if a wig looks good on me. Like, I just want to look. Can I look at a fucking wig? Is that okay with you? Is it going to hurt your feelings if I wear a wig? there are plenty of white people that wear wigs and extensions, so why the fuck are you getting your titties in a twist? And she just like, it was just like, I just could not stand that store. But their semi-permanent hair dye was cheap. It was only $4. So I just ended up buying the hair dye, the semi-permanent stuff, and I just didn't go back. I bought the hair dye once from there and I didn't go back. I just like wanted to buy my shit online and not have to deal with the rudeness in that store. It was just so unnecessary. But that's just one example of colorism. And I've had several other examples and other situations that happen to me. But does it really matter? I mean, does it, like, is it really a big deal? Is it really a big deal that someone like me would have an issue? So if reverse colorism doesn't exist, then why do darker people have to give me such a horrible attitude like that? And why do darker people have to treat me like I'm shit? Because I don't, it's not like I looked down on them or that I think I'm better than them. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I have a laundry list of issues, okay? And I have been bullied my whole life. And I don't have an agenda out there to belittle or hurt people that are different or darker than me. I don't have that kind of agenda. But if it happens to me, like, is that like, are you trying to say that it's invalid, that my issues with people who are darker are invalid and it doesn't exist, that like what happened to me was nothing because it was something and it was unacceptable? The kind of attitude that I get around darker women is very rude, very, very, very rude. But I go out of my way. I really do go out of my way to be friends with some of them, and they just don't want to. They literally don't want to. They have this sort of preconceived expectation of me, and I'm not like that, you know. So when I was at a shelter in South Florida, I had to share a room with like 40 other women. It was multiracial, but mostly Black women, and some of them were nice to me. But those around my age couldn't stand me. They didn't want to talk to me. They just like, and I knew they were talking behind my back too. And I was getting a lot of attention from guys that I wasn't attracted to. So I think that maybe they had this assumption that I'm taking their men away, and it's just unfair because it's not why I'm at the shelter. I'm not at the shelter to pick up a guy. I'm at the shelter because I'm homeless and I'm trying to get my life back in order. But these women just, they're two-faced, and all they do is just hurt my feelings, you know? And I know it sounds like, oh, well, poor me, and your life must be... No, my life is actually pretty fucking good. I do. I realize that I am very privileged. I'm very lucky. And I've had a good life up until I became homeless. But even then, like, I took it all in stride, and I took my homelessness in stride, and I used it as an opportunity to grow. And part of that was realizing where my place was. And I believe that's what those women were trying to do, was trying to put me in my place. And I understand from watching a lot of YouTube videos that I am lucky. I am very fortunate. But that's not a reason to belittle or tell me that my experience is invalid. Because it's just wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. I don't think that's right at all. Just because I'm lighter and I have advantages doesn't mean that I don't experience colorism from darker people. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why is that not looked at? Seriously. Why is it only a problem with darker people? But with lighter people, we can't even begin to talk about the issues we have with darker people, because it exists. Okay, it really does exist. And like I said, I understand that it sounds like, the poor little yellow girl, whatever, her life is boo 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 boo. That's not what I'm trying to say here. Okay, I know that my life is good, but I don't think that I need to experience those other things. I don't think it's necessary, especially when there are still some white people who might come off a little racist to me. It may not be as blatant. It may not be the same kind of racist stuff, because it isn't. It's not. But it still happens. I just don't like being told that my experiences are invalid because I'm lighter, or because I'm yellow, or whatever.